Hey guys, Sableye here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here with another episode of Best of 3 Brawl. You guys can see it on the screen now. We've got Pokesports going up against us tonight. And honestly, should be a good battle. Of course, guys, we have decided to go for the Spikemuth Cup variant, or the Series 10 no Dynamax, Series 9 no Series 10 no restricted, Series 9 no Dynamax, whatever you really want to call it. There's a million different patterns you can go with, whatever you really want to call it, but we are rocking some Spikemuth Cup. We are gonna get Drifloon, which one of those teams that I think is really solid, but I feel like it's more solid the more the format goes on. Like, Drifloon is a mon that can do a lot of things that when there's a lot of random Pokemon that you're not really, before the meta really settles down, Drifloon's one of those ones that's you want it to do so much and you don't know what you really need it to do. Right? Obviously, it can do numerous things like Icy Wind, Tailwind, Will-O-Wisp, Hex if you really want to, Shadow Ball, Acrobatics, and the list goes on. Baton Pass if you really wanted to get cheeky, right? And the list just goes on and on for that. And when the meta is so diverse like it is right now at the beginning of the format, or when no one's really played the format, it's really tough for Drifloon Lele to really hone in on fine kills. But it is still definitely a good team, and I am interested to see Kevin's variant of it here. But I think for me right now, the win condition here is just win with Celesteela. Like, it's going to be a matter of getting Celesteela on the field. I think it's going to basically be a Lecky Urshifu to bait that Lele to stay on the field. Bring the Steela in. Actually, I think I lead it. Have the Urshifu. That way I can just eliminate the whole switch out. You know, eliminate the whole switch out. Bring Instant in the back. I think this is the way I want to go game one. And it's basically one of those ones that's I have to minimize damage and be doing damage back. Because, hey, I can minimize damage, but if I'm not doing anything, they're going to out-damage me. Right? This is one of those teams that is just capable of out-damaging things with the big-time Lele damage, the big-time Serena in the back. They've got Urshifu as well, but this is why you lead Lele, right? Mad respect. Mad respect for that shiny Drifloon. Do love me some shiny Drifloon. Anyways, we've got, like I said, just the Sasha Lecky is really consistent here for me, right? Because I just click Electro Web, I just click Heavy Slam. If they want to click something like Will-O-Wisp, they can go ahead and do so. If they want to switch Lele out, the only real switching they have is Instant. It gets slowed down. And if they're switching out, then I'm chilling on the field anyways. Electro Web, Heavy Slam. I have no real reason to not do this. Like, generally on these types of teams, the Lele is either Choice Scarfed or Choice Specs. Generally one of those two, so I'm assuming it's not going to be capable of protecting. So if they want to preserve it, they've got to be switching out. I could see Incineroar pivoting on in here, but this is what Urshifu's for in the back. It's more so just a matter of getting these turns right and not letting the Drifloon do, you know, Drifloon things. It is scary. It really is scary. Like, Drifloon is solid. Like, it is a solid mon right now because it's just outpacing everything, you know? Like, I think this is just a perfect lead, though, into what they went with. Like, the moment they lead Drifloon, this puts me in a spot. Okay, they click Tailwind. I mean, I'm going to get a special defense boost and Lele's going to die here. And they're like, oh, we're going to get rid of a Lecky, but this is where the Sash is nice. And like, I don't know. I don't want to, like, sound like I'm stumbling on my words or repeating it, but, like, Sasha Lecky into Hyper Offense is just phenomenal. We get the Electro up, so that's going to slow Drifloon down. Heavy Slam is going to take out the Tapu Lele, give ourselves a special defense boost. And it's basically going to become, how do we get through the Urshifu now, is basically going to be the question. Lele's gone. That's all we really needed there, is Lele to go down. Right? Maybe bringing Amoonguss in the back for the Urshifu would have been nice, because Urshifu is the problem now, assuming they brought it. Right? And I personally would bring the Urshifu if I'm my opponent. If I was Kevin, I'd be bringing Urshifu. That's all I'm saying. I'd have an Urshifu on the field right now. You've got the Tailwind up for it. This is the time to bring it on the field, and I strongly agree here. If I'm them, I'm going into a Lecky here as well. I don't really necessarily want to throw anything away. I don't think they're going to Surging Strike and waste a turn Surging Striking into a Lecky. So I think Instant is a relatively safer switch in here, as well as dropping a Leech Seed into their Urshifu. Now I think Drifloon could try to go for something like a Taunt, could go for something along the lines of a Will-O-Wisp. It is shaky. I don't know if they have Acrobatics. Like I said, it's scarier now because, like, I know I'm saying it's not as good early in the formats, but as the early in the formats, you don't know what the Drifloon wants because you don't know what they're generally trying to counter. But you're gonna see the Shadow Ball here, and that to me is going into the Electro. Instant's gonna take. I could see them doubling, but with Citrus Berry on Instant, I should be able to survive regardless. It's actually Dark type. Never mind, I just realized it was a Dark type Urshifu. Maybe I should actually pay attention. That is not a 2-shot. I repeat, that is not a 2-shot. And that puts me in an amazing spot. So I actually did the same thing on stream earlier where I just assumed Urshifu hit the field and it was a water type. I was not paying attention, but it is indeed a dark type Urshifu. That is going to get rid of a sash here. And I no longer need a Lecky nearly as much anymore. How do I want to do this? I think, honestly, they're -1. Wicked Blow. I think I just Throat Chop the Drifblim. Do they want to switch Blim out? I don't think so. I think I Heavy Slam Ursh and just get damage where I can get damage. Yeah, I just Heavy Slam Ursh and get damage where I get damage. Yep, Shadow Ball. I'm assuming they're going to go after Steela here. But with my special defense boost, this shouldn't, yeah. That should not be killing. Wicked Blow is going to come out. They're going to attempt it, but it's not going to get the KO. I'm going to get some health back with the Leech Seed as well. Celesteela is going to tank, as we see right there. And Throat Chop should be killing the Drifblim. Yes, sir. And I'm presuming Heavy Slam doesn't pick up the KO on Urshifu, but it should do close to 50. Game is nowhere near over. The game is nowhere near over. Like I said, close to 50. But it's scary because we don't know what their last mon is. If it's Nihilego, I think we win just by stalling out Tailwind turns. But it's not nowhere near over because I don't know how to actually how to go about stalling out those turns of Tailwind. Because there's Psychic Terrain. Generally, I can fake out, right? And it is going to be the Nihilego, right? So the question is, how do I stall out the turns of Terrain and the turns of Tailwind? One more turn of Tailwind. Okay, so this should be fine. One more turn of Tailwind. So what I want to do here is basically just let cells. I can kind of let both go down, honestly. Because then I get a... Yeah, no, I just let both go down. I definitely just let both go down. So if I get the Flare Blitz up, I get the Flare Blitz up, and I get the Heavy Slam up into Nihilego. I'm a little confused why we ended up locking Series 9 rules here, because we gotta be careful none of us accidentally click that Dynamax button, you know? This should be Meteor Beam into the instant here. Should take me down, and then Urshifu should follow suit with a kill into the Celesteela. But I believe having a Lecky in the back with one more turn of Psychic Terrain, it should just be game over. Tailwind's done, I got another turn of Psychic Terrain. Instant can go down, Wicked Blow can take me out. The game is already over, because you cannot protect. And just the fact that they can't protect in front of Urshifu is literally beautiful. And I'm not a huge fan of Scarf Urshifu. I'm really not. But on this team, I think it works perfectly. Like, I think it works really, really well. Because now Tailwind's gone. They've left it. I believe Psychic Terrain is up for one more turn. Beautiful. I go Surging Strikes, kill off Nihilego. I go Thunderbolt, kill off Urshifu. And there's nothing they can do. They can try and protect the Urshifu here to try and stall out Psychic Terrain so they can get Sucker Punch into a Lecky. But regardless, even if they try to do that, it's not enough for them. Because Surging Strikes is going to take down the Nihilego, and Thunderbolt is going to take down the Ursh. There's nothing they can do. There is absolutely nothing they can do. And even if they get the Protect on Ursh here, which I think is probably their best bet, Surging Strike just kills it the next turn. So, like, this is where having the Scarf Shifu is really nice. Now, they don't know that I'm Scarf, right? Which actually makes this interesting. Because they might say, hey, I can try and protect here. So I do have to reveal the Scarf here, which is a tad bit unfortunate, but I don't think it matters. Ursh is going to protect. I mean, they got to play to their outs, and I respect that out. I just don't think it's enough. Thunderbolt's going out. Now, if I wasn't Scarfed, I think they're in a very good spot here. But I'm Scarfed. Surging Strike's going to clean this Nihilego up. Nice and easy. Yeah, very nice and easy. Down goes the Nihilego here, and it's just all but over now. Where I just hit. They can't spread move. They can't spread move and kill both here. I mean, they could be like Rock Slide of their own, but. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Leech Seed. Lecky's gonna get some health back here too. Not that it really needs it, but so throwing this game would be me trying to protect the Lecky calling a Sucker Punch and having them put close combat and critting me to death if I miraculously somehow don't kill them. But I mean, regardless, I think the game is over, so I'm just gonna attack. Yeah, they go Sucker Punch. Let them take the Lecky, that's fine, and I go Surging Strikes and finish off the Ursh. That also reveals Sucker Punch for me, which is nice. I mean, I think, in that point, do you forfeit? No. it's one of those ones like, do you really want to reveal Sucker? But I mean, it's guaranteed, right? Like, you don't run Dark type Urshifu without Sucker Punch, right? So, doesn't surprise me that they have it there. So, but what it does confirm to me is that they are not locked into Wicked Blow, which might actually be a bigger reveal moving forward. Meaning we might be seeing something like Sash because they're able to switch moves. And that's really, really good for me to know and find out right here. And I am going to, of course, play with the same rules because we got a game 2 to get to. We've got a game 2 to get to. Now, I think I can do most of the same thing, but I am pretty confident we're not going to see the Drifloon lead this time. I am pretty confident we're not seeing Drifloon. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to try and capitalize with a Lucky Earth with Stelly in the back. There's no reason for me to switch up what I've brought. These 4 Mons, in my opinion, are correct every time. It's just a matter of what order I bring them in and what order they bring them in. And by locking in so fast, I'm really hoping to catch Kevin on the... Hey, he locked in so fast, he's just going to do the same thing. Let's just cover that. Right? And that's what I'm hoping to catch them on here. Because if they lead something without Drifblim, or with Drifblim without the Lele, Surging Strikes goes crazy. Especially because I have beside Alecki, like, I don't know if anything takes that. Just that Serena would be their best play. But if they bring Serena, I have Celesteela and Instant in the back for that, right? So, at this point, we kind of go crazy here. Now that we've stopped them from bringing Driflele. Way ahead of here, but if we manage to get to a game 3, I will be going probably back to my Celesteela lead because I feel like they might go back to the Driflele to catch what I led here, but that's up in the air. I mean, we'll see. But that's way ahead. That's way overthinking. But of course, guys, I believe this is going to be up on Pokesports' channel as well with their side of the commentary. So if you're sitting here watching this, make sure you go watch that after. Because I don't know, when I watch battles, I think it's cool to see what one person thinks versus what the opponent thinks. I think that's a really cool... And I think it kind of gets the mindset, right? Because, like, right now you're listening to me talk and you're like, hey, you could be agreeing with me, you could be disagreeing with me, right? But, like, you go over to Kevin's side and maybe Kevin's not even thinking nearly anywhere close to what I'm thinking, right? So it's always, and see what I mean by he's not thinking what I'm thinking? I'm like, I thought for sure I scared this lead. I thought for sure this lead was not going to make an appearance here. I did not expect to see this lead whatsoever, right? This is just one of those ones where it's like, excuse me, sir, why did you just lead this, you know? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I just shut it down entirely. Now, maybe they have something like the Will-O-Wisp, right? Those are things we don't know. I should just switch Volt Switch. I should Dynamax just to mess with them. I'm not going to do that, though. We are going to Electro Up. It is the right play. And generally speaking, this is going to be Tailwind. And they're going to hit my Earth. Now, I'm going to pivot the Earth out and pray, and I'm going to go into Instant. I think Instant potentially takes less damage if they go for the Psychic. They know I'm Scarf now, right? So they know I can't protect. It's more of a question of, are they going to lock Gleam? What are they going to click here, right? So it's a little shaky because obviously I can't click Fake Outs, and they're going to probably get Tailwinds up as well. But there's the Tailwind, and here's probably, I'm hoping to catch a Psychic. It should be a Dazzling Gleam or a Moonblast to cover, but there's the Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, so I should have gone hard into Steel. I should have just led Celesteela again. I really don't know what I was doing. Anyways, Electro is going to come on out and just slow these things down for some solid damage on both slots. Now, here's the thing, right? I can just protect Alecki here, I think. Arguably the best case scenario. Also, that is by far Choice Specs Tapu Lele. By far. And in my opinion, I don't want to kill either of these things right now. I want to slow this down. I'm actually going to I'm just going to play it slow. Because if I kill something, that welcomes a big hit, big kill from their end on the end game, right? So right now they're gonna Shadow Ball. They're not gonna pick up that KO. We know Instant tanks it because we saw it live the first one. Dazzling Gleam coming out, gonna hurt a little bit, but Instant, of course, being alive is the important part. Citrus Berry as well, gonna keep me healthy-ish going into the end game here. We get the parting shot into this Lele for some damage. To hinder some damage, and we get our Celesteela on the field. And my big reason for this was one of those ones that, well, now we're in a spot where obviously Drifblim is faster, right? But now we get Celesteela on the field, and now we're slowing things down, right? Like, I don't want to kill Lele here. I think they want me to take the Lele out, and I have no intentions of doing so, right? I'm going to go back into Instant here, because it should be able to live Shadow Ball. And I think I'm going to Leech Seed the Drifblim. Like, Let me turn to Tailwind either. Do you turn to Tailwind? Yeah, so I think I Leech Seed here. I mean, I could Heavy Slam it, but it's dead to a Volt Switch when Lecky comes back in. So I Leech Seed here to get some health back at the end of this turn. Like, stealing Drifblim's health is really, really nice because they have such a high HP stat. So taking 1/8, I believe it's off of their Drifblim, is going to actually heal up Celesteela quite a bit if I take damage here. You know they're locked into Dazzling Gleam, which doesn't want to really pressure me at all. I could see them swapping the Lele in here to just keep it around for the end game, but I really don't think that's what they want to do here. I think just keeping pressure. Yeah. Drifblim's actually going to Ally Switch, which when I was saying at the beginning of the video that Drifblim had a bunch of stuff going on for it, they're going to Dazzling Gleam. I literally meant Drifblim had legitimately a bunch of stuff going on for it. Leech Seed is going to connect. Very happy I didn't Heavy Slam. We're getting kind of creeping to a spot where they may be able to get Tailwind back up, which I most certainly do not want to see. So we're going to get some health back from that Lele. I am going to Heavy Slam that slot. That slot needs to go down. And they're locked into They're locked into Dazzling Gleam, so that will kill my instant. So I go for the double kill now. Right? I can lose instant. At the end of the day, if I lose instant here, I bring in a Lecky and they don't get Tailwind back up. They're going to switch out a Lecky here, Lele here actually, going into the Earth. So just free damage for me, which is really nice in my opinion. As they do Shadow Ball, and I feel like that's going to finish off the instant. Unless instant miraculously survives. But just sadly it is not going to do that. And Heavy Slam's going to come out into the Earth here. So here's the thing, right? Lecky's faster now because Tailwind's gone. There's a Heavy Slam for some decent damage. Opposing Tailwind is gone, and we bring in a Lecky. So if they switch out, they lose their Unburden boost, meaning my Urshifu is faster. I think Electro Web, but Electro Web doesn't kill, and that's the problem. I think I have to Volt Switch, and honestly, Volt Switch is probably one of the best plays I can make. Because even if they Ally Switch, I think it's fine, and I Heavy Slam the Earth. I just get as much damage onto Earth as possible, so that way I can guarantee Surging Strike kills it. They can't Sucker Punch this turn. I could see them protecting the Earth right now. But like Drifblim goes down. Like Protect Ally Switch is probably a cool play if that does stall out Tailwind. I think Protect Ally Switch, if that stalls out turns of Psychic Terrain, wins them this game. And I'd love to see it here. I mean, I locked in, so normally I wouldn't like to see it. Normally I wouldn't be rooting for my opponent. Obviously we're playing, we don't see it. But like, I think it would be super cool if Kevin can pull that play off. I think it would be really, really wild. Thankfully, we are not going to see it, though. Volt Switch is going to not kill the Blim. And I think that seals the game in their favor. I thought for sure that was a kill. I thought for sure that thing was dead. Now, granted, it's just a Tailwind, and I think we might still be okay here. But I don't think they hit the Steela. I think they want to get rid of a Lecky. Right? And honestly, we should be able to tank that just fine, I think. Oh, they hit the Steela. Okay. That's fine-ish. That's fine-ish. Oh, Heavy Slam did massive damage. We're going to get some health back there. Wish I would have clicked Electro Web or just Thunderbolt and killed the thing. But, okay. Weirdness is gone from the battlefield. This is where having Aqua Jet on Scarf Urshifu would be super, super nice. Because, like, here's the thing, right? I think I U-turn off of Drifblim. And I sack a Lecky because actually I U-turn off of Urshifu. I kill the Ursh here. I U-turn off of Ursh. And I bring in, I sack a Lecky. And then hopefully am praying that Celesteela is enough to win the end game here. And I think it should be. But that Drifblim surviving is absolutely massive. Just absolutely massive. I think that changes this entirety of this end game. Because they don't have Tailwind up right now, right? Like, think about it. If that Volt Switch kills Drifblim, I think it's just a game over. But it didn't. And now it's crazy. We don't know what their last mon is. We know they have big damage. They're actually going to Strength Sap to heal themselves back up as well. So losing a Lecky is not fun there. Obviously U-turn should still be enough. But as long as they do hit a Lecky, this is fine. Even if they don't. Actually, it's probably better if they don't. But they should hit the Lecky because they want my thing down, right? Yeah, they most certainly want my Urshifu dead. My Celesteela dead there. U-turn. Gonna take off that Urshifu. No longer a threat to us. And the question is, what's the last one? Right? You know Lele's coming in. You know Lele's coming in, and I'm going to lose my And I'm losing Ursh here. There's no doubt in my mind. They know I'm Scarfed at this point, and this is why I don't love Scarf Ursh so much. Because in best of threes, right? Now they know I'm Scarf, right? So in a scenario like this, generally like, ooh, I can't really bring in Lele here because they bring in Urshifu they could protect. But now that they know I'm Scarf, right? Like in game 1, they couldn't have done this, right? So that's why they preserved the Lele here, because it helps deal with this, right? This is the play they need. Okay, so what's my win con here exactly? It's going to come down to somehow maneuvering into a W. Do they ally switch so they can get a couple psychics up? I think we could see the ally switch. But right now, I don't think I need to actually pick up a KO. I'm going to lead seed the Drifloon. If I get the opportunity to, I'm going to get the Surging into the Lele. But I think I'm just going to lose to a Psychic here. They're going to just Shadow Ball, which I think is questionable. I personally would have gone for like a Strength Step. Heal yourself up a little more. Celine from Specs Lele going to kill Ursh every time. And now I'm going to get some health back. I respect the play. The question is, what's their last mon? Right, Leaf Seed thankfully going to come out. We're going to get some health back here. We're going to have to slow play this endgame quite a bit. Because that Shadow Ball is doing a little bit too much. And I don't know what the last mon is. Right? I don't know if it's Instant. I don't know if it's... If it's Serena, we're fine. But something tells me it's not the Serena. I'm trying to remember what it was in game 1. It was the Nihilego. So, once again, if it's that Nihilego, it's interesting here. Because I protect here, but the problem is I can't afford to. I can't afford to click protect, because if they hard switch Nihilego in, I lose. But I don't think they're going to. I think they're just going to take the damage up here. Because I think they think Nihilego is their win con, and I agree with that. But they could go Nihilego in for Drifloon, and I think they would think that's super safe. Which is something I could try and call. I'm going to try and call it. I think I'm so far behind in this endgame. Nah. Okay. Oh. What? I don't know if I agree with that. Gleam's coming out, I mean... That's fine. It's not going to do that much. It just gives me... That actually gives me an outside shot. Maybe they wanted to heal up, thinking I was going to protect there. But Heavy Slam's going to come out into the Drifloon and actually do some big time damage. And now we're going to get the lefties back. We're going to get the Leech Seed back as well. And I think the good thing about that is that we basically now said they can't bring in Nihilego for free now. Because basically they're not going to bring it in for the Lele because I could easily Heavy Slam that. Right? And they're not going to bring it in for the Drifloon because I just Heavy Slam that slot. So I think it's one of those ones where now we've scared the switch in. They're going to go Shadow Ball. Shouldn't kill me. I don't think this double up is going to kill. Dazzling Gleam, like I said, it shouldn't pick up. Celesteela barely tanking that and going to get a lead seed. It is thankfully going to connect here. And we're going to start getting some health back. And now what they're going to do is they're going to be scared. I have to Heavy Slam this turn. As much as I don't want to, because I don't think I lived the combo, I think I have to call the fact that something is switching out. Because if they stay on the field and basically just heal me the entire time, like if they stay on the field right now, they're not winning this game. Right? If they stay on the field right now, they are not winning this game. The problem is they could just double up, but I think they realize this is so tough. This is so tough. Like, it's one of those ones that do they think they get the kill? Because if they think they get the kill, and I haven't clicked protect yet, right? I haven't clicked protect. Now, they know I have it. I have to call... this is so tough. I'm going to go protect. If they... I still can't guarantee that it's even Nihilego in the back. I should have just done it. I should have just done it. I should have just done it. I had it. I had it. Like I said, and I said it right away. If I stay on the field, I'm not winning. If they stay on the field, they're not winning this game, and I knew that. I should have attacked. I should not have clicked protect. That's on me every single time right there. I mean, I still have a chance to win the game, though, despite all that. It's basically, does Meteor Beam miss? Is now my game. Or somehow, if Celesteela miraculously lives. I don't know why they're self-healing. Like, I respect the self-heal. Should just match the Celesteela. But I think I lead seed here. They might Strength Step me and go Meteor Beam, but I think Shadow Ball Meteor Beam wraps this one up. But this all comes back down to that Drifloon living the turn before. Right? This all comes down to the Drifloon living. Meteor Beam, yeah, I was kind of hoping they'd Power Gem. If they do miss, though, I do have a chance at winning. If they do miss this, I think I actually do just win. But I think Kevin won that. Kevin win most of the calls in this game, so definitely deserves to hit this meteor beam. Yeah. And this is what I'm saying. If I would have had the special defense boost, I could have maybe tanked that. But I think I played that well. I think it came down to me just getting that one call wrong. Like, I legitimately think it was just that one call that cost me that. Like, if I heavy slammed the Lele there, I win the game. Straight up. Like, if I just don't know how to make that call. Right? Like, they're under the impression of, do they kill me? I'm under the impression that they don't know. It's just one of those ones that's super, super tough to call. Like, I think I should have called that. I really should have called that and heavy slammed. I knew there was a Nihiligo in the back. Now, here's the thing. Do I go back to the game one? Because now they gotta think, hey, he's going back to game one here. Right? He's going back to game one here. So it's one of those ones where, does he call that? And now not bring Drift Lele? I don't see a reason for them to not lead Drift Lele though. Like, I don't know what they bring that is better than Drift Lele into this. So I think we're just gonna kind of roll it back, right? I think we just run it back. I think we just run it back and try to see if we can win. They did a very good job of preserving their Lele. It's scary, right? Because it's one of those ones where it comes down to calls in this matchup, right? Because I have answers, they have answers. Celesteela is absolutely phenomenal in front of them, so they have to be terrified of that. And that's where I think leading Celesteela is a little better. Because you know they're looking after it, right? You know they're out the corner of their eye. They're like, hey, at some point I gotta hit this Celesteela, you know? At some point it has to happen. Right? And they're doing a great job of just keeping me low and then bringing Nihiligo in. But I'm still angry I didn't make that call. I am still angry I didn't make that call because I had it. I said it. I can't let the Nihiligo in for free. I even tried hitting the Drifloon that one time and then I should have hit it there. I should have had that. Anyways, well played though, well played. They did definitely do it at the right time, so I can't get mad. That's just a call that unfortunately I didn't make and Kevin made the right one. So, okay, let's see. Let me see what's going on here. Instant Earth, okay, they did decide to mix it up. And they actually reveal the Instant, which I think is a little bit better for me. So obviously Instant Earth is problematic here, but I bring in my Instant for my Aleki. Aleki is super important to keep things at bay, keep things nice and slow. Now I could go hard into Urshifu right here. Like I could go Ursh right here, but if they close combat Flare Blitz that slot, that is terrifying. So I think at that point it's one of those ones where, okay, go ahead if you're going to come kill me. Go ahead and do so. I'm going to Leech Seed if you give it to me. And I'm going to get off and I'm going to go into Instant myself. And it's one of those ones where we kind of just kill. I don't know the item on this Instant. I could try to Volt Switch, but obviously Fake Out potential is there. Just getting an Instant is the safest thing I can possibly go for. I think you got to see a Fake Out here. They know I'm Sasha Lecky, so it's basically we got to use who's using these tools better right now. I'm happy they finally went off of the Drift Lele. I think they should have tried it for a game 2. Good call on the close combat. Very good call on the close combat, but thankfully Instant comes in and tanks that. Their Instant isn't going to be able to kill anything. It should be a parting shot personally. I would presume a parting shot probably into something like Lele. And they want to put me in range where another close combat's going to kill me, right? They're actually going to Flare Blitz though into the Steela. Steela tanks, no real big deal. That did a lot of damage actually. Hold up. A little more than I was hoping for. And Leech Seed coming on out, and I'm going to get some good health back though. So the Leech Seed going to give me health back here, which is really, really nice. And this is one of those ones where it's scary, right? Because Urshifu is sitting on the field here, and Leech Seed there is cool. I think Lele wants to make an appearance here, right? I do think you bring the Lele. Or do you not? Because this is one of those ones where, do they bring the Lele, yes or no? Because if I'm going to call the Lele switch in, I heavy slam into Instant to catch that. But I think for the playing it safe, I heavy slam into you. And I think you're going to try and close combat and kill my Instant here. So I'm going to pivot out and I'm going to go into Ursh. Ursh is generally safe right here. It's a real risky if they do double sell it. Like if they just stay on the field and double sell a Steela, I do probably take an L. But I don't know, something tells me they're going to want to make a maneuver here. With fake out pressure on the field from my end as well, it just feels like the maneuver from their end makes a little more sense. It's a little shaky, because if they do double Celesteela, I do lose, which is very, very spooky. Looks like they're staying on the field. This could be bad. Now, I'm hoping if they stay on the field, it's just a double into, like they go, okay, nice, nice, nice. Really faster instant. Interesting to note. Interesting to note, there's the Tapu Lele. We're going to see a close combat, I presume, trying to get rid of instant? I would presume you want my instant off the field, which is why Urshifu came in that slot. They're going to close combat. Yep, they want my instant off the field. Urshifu is going to be able to tank that super, super well. And honestly, now they're at -2 defense. Heavy Slam might just pick it off. I wonder if they have late game Drift Lele. Heavy Slam did not pick it off, and actually that's probably better for me. Late game Drift Lele is a little something, but there we go. There's the Leaf Seed. We take those, and like I said, I'm pretty confident in it being Specs Lele. They don't have speed control right now. Celesteela gets healed up pretty close to full. I Heavy Slam the Lele, and I U-turn the Urshifu. No reason for me to do anything else right here. Lele, like I said, is Specs. There is no tail, there's no speed control, and that's where the team falls apart on Kevin's end, is there's no speed control now. Right? So yeah, okay, Lele's gonna make it through this turn. Lele's gonna click for maybe a Psychic, maybe a Dazzling Gleam. Instant's in a spot where it's gonna be able to take it though. And like, without the speed control, I think I'm in a very nice position. Like, Leaf Seed would have been nice right there, but Heavy Slam just does so much damage. I've got to assume Nihilego that last one. Instant comes in here to eat a potential Psychic. It should be a Dazzling Gleam or a Moonblast, just doing as much damage as they can into this switch-in slot here, I would assume. Could have also Poison Jab, but it wouldn't have killed the Lele, so... let's see. Get the Intimidate on the Instant is nice, and it is just another Gleam. Okay. Just another Gleam is fine. Instant is alive. That's alive and well is nice. Heavy Slam coming on out. Gonna put this Lele way down. Not gonna kill it, but I don't think it needed to kill it at that point. Right, at this point I don't need to kill the Lele. This is one of those ones where they're gonna click Gleam. I sack my Aleki here. I protect and I sack Aleki. I don't need Aleki as much as I need Instant for late game fake. Actually, do I? No, Sash Aleki's way better. I just let Instant go down. What am I doing? Basically, if you give me an opportunity to pivot, I parting shot off the Instant slot, but this will be Fake Out Gleam. But this just lets me waltz on into what I want to waltz into. There's their Fake Out into my Celesteela. Dazzling Gleam's going to take me down here. And the Instant's at -1, so I just Surging Strikes the Aleki slot. And there's, not the Aleki slot, I Surging Strikes into the Lele slot. And I just Leaf Seed the Instant slot because I just take the damage where I get the damage. Right, I get my health back up here. Surging Strikes kills the Lele, Surging Strikes kills Nihilego, Surging Strikes kills what's left of the Urshifu. So anything in that slot will die. The only thing you have to be concerned about is the Serena being in the back. So maybe I could try to cover for that. But I think for the most part this is just simple Leaf Seed into you. And a Surging Strikes into the Lele and just basically play this nice and slow. Instant shouldn't want to be on the field here. But then again, they could probably just stay on and try to Flare Blitz or Parting Shot. But I think for the most part we're kind of gaming. I think for the most part, I think if it is that Nihilego, which I think is one of their best ways to deal with my Celesteela, I would imagine they have no switch instant to this, which is just absolutely beautiful. If they want to preserve Lele to kill the Urshifu, they can't do it because then they're going to reset the terrain and they have no Fake Out pressure. They have to find a way to preserve Lele. We're just going to let it go down here. And that checks out perfectly. Like, that entirely checks out. Right? You just let Lele go down and Lele's gone. Okay, beautiful. So I could have killed it that other turn and not had to risk the whole instant switch in and stuff, but I don't know, to me it just felt shaky. They're going to Throat Chop actually into my Ursh, trying to get as much damage as possible. I think they do realize now that my Urshifu is what's going to be winning me this game. And unfortunate miss right there, but the good news is Instant doesn't do anything. Right? Instant is not putting on any sort of pressure right now. They cannot Sucker Punch. And we know their Urshifu isn't Scarf, so depending on what they have in the back, I think this is GG. If it is Nihilego, it should be game over in our favor. But I do like seeing the no Drift Lele here game 3 because it really helped us out. But like, it's one of those ones where as much as like you think I'm gonna be able to call it again, I do think it is maybe your best lead. Like, I kind of agreed with them game 2. But anyways, this is a lead seed into Incin, and I just Surging Strike the Urshifu slot. Because Incin cannot kill Urshifu here. If Incin somehow reveals some sort of grass move, then we cry a little bit, but I don't think it will. I could see maybe Incin, you know what, Incin's going to pivot out here to try and reset Fake Out pressure. But in order to do that, they have to lose the Urshifu, and that's fine by me. Oh, excuse me, I'll probably mute that out. But anyways, Nihilego is here. Nihilego hard switching, so they're saving the Urshifu, which is fair, but Surging Strike, goodbye Nihilego. And this is, once again, this is just me positioning Scarf Urshifu to a spot where Scarf Urshifu is going to gain in the end game here. Nihilego goes down. I'm going to try and Leech Seed the Incin. I don't think I'm going to get it off. Actually, I guarantee it, because, like, Throat Chop's not, yeah, they have to kill Ursh. They have to go after Ursh, and they just can't. And that's where not being able to protect in front of Urshifu is bad. Right, they didn't have Lele anymore, Urshifu came in, and the lack of speed control without the Drifloon from their team is what's going to cost them here. Right, because as much as they're like, oh yeah, we can not bring Drifloon here, we can kind of call them here, they can't pivot around this without taking too much damage. Right? They take too much damage here without the speed control, and that's the problem with the Drifloon team. I find sometimes, because like, as much as they're like, oh, they're gonna call Drifloon, they have answers to it. All of a sudden, you don't bring Drifloon. You have no speed control, right? This is once again just, did I hit my Leech Seed? I did hit my Leech Seed, so this is, in my opinion, just a Surging Strike into the Ursh, and I'm gonna sub. Not that the sub really matters, but I don't think I've revealed it yet this game. They're going to Sucker Punch. It should not be killing my Urshifu. Urshifu's alive. Urshifu has done its job. Surging Strike is going to come on out. Going to take down the Urshifu here. And all is said and done now, guys. Throat Chop might not even kill me, to be completely honest. This might be a legitimate 4-0 Urshifu sweep. Urshifu literally might just kill everything here. Flare Blitz coming out. They got to take out Ursh now. Nope, they're going to hit the steal. I respect it. And if they let me get this next attack off, Urshifu is going to be the one to take the game. And there's the Celesteela substitute reveal. I didn't need to, but I had to have gone Flare Blitz into Urshifu there. I mean, Aleki still wins. I mean, I don't think Heavy Slam's doing anything, right? I could have protected, but it was useless. I don't know. It just felt right to me to just click substitute. It just felt correct, right? You never know. This prevents any sort of shenanigans if anything crazy would have happened, right? Like maybe, hey, Sucker Punch might manage to crit and kill my Urshifu. Right? Anyways, now I Heavy Slam. And Surging Strikes. 4 straight Surging Strikes. 4 straight kills. Let's go with the Urshifu. And Kevin just flexing there with the fake it at the end. Realizing it is over. And absolutely insane set. Actually really, really happy that we got to feature Drift Lele today. Like, I just played it on stream a few hours ago before we recorded this. And just seeing the Drift Lele, it's a really cool team. Like, it's unique, right? It is such a unique team that is always cool to see. And like I said, I do think it is a little bit better later on into the meta. But Kevin, honestly, absolutely fantastic match. Thank you so much for agreeing to do the battle. And of course, guys, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning, which I definitely should have. But if you did miss out, if you aren't, for whatever reason, following Pokesports already, checking them out, doing whatever you need to do over there, definitely make sure you click those links in the description down below. Fantastic content all around. Definitely highly recommend that. And with that, guys, I am going to get out of here. I'm going to stop rambling, and I will catch you guys in a future video.